facing head-on the emotions beneath the surface as we bridge from an old world of confusion and lack to a beautiful new world of freedom, abundance, and love with straightforward truth and inspired hope is what you'll find on The Charla Anderson Show. Collector and connector of fascinating people. And everyone is fascinating. Here's your host, Charla Anderson.
Well, good, beautiful day, beautiful, beautiful souls. This is Charla Anderson, host of the Charla Anderson Show, collector and connector of fascinating people, and everyone is fascinating, especially you. So grateful you join us today. I've got an amazing, beautiful, kind-hearted author. Felicia Doss is going to be talking with us today, and she has, oh my gosh, she's got so much wisdom and so much joy to offer. But first, we're going to do my little mini vacation, a little 22-second breathing exercise. We're going to breathe in calm for 7 seconds. We're going to hold for 4 seconds, and we're going to breathe out gratitude for 11. So here we go. Join me to get a little more centered. Be still and know. Here we go. Breathe in calm. Hold. Release. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for joining me with that. I just think it helps get the settling done, a little early in the game here. So, Felicia, we just met this last weekend at our beloved Zurvita conference. And, I heard that you were the poet for Zeal for Meals. You wrote a poem about that, and it is stunning and beautiful, and we'll talk more about that. But I want to ask you, would you just tell us who you are in this world? And then we'll talk about what we do.
Sure. Thank you so much, Charla, for inviting me on. It's a privilege and an honor. I pray that I can be a blessing. And I am Felicia Doss. I am a child of the King. I am a wife of 31 years and a mom of 7 children. And I'm a teacher by trade, but turned stay-at-home mom, homeschooling mom. And my release, if you will, my solace is quiet time in the morning and writing poetry and journaling devotions and just connecting with the Lord and getting my mind straight first and foremost before I attack the day. So that's it in a nutshell. Other than that, I am an entrepreneur also in direct sales for the last almost 12 years.
And so where we met, I feel like there's something going on in the background. So when I'm not talking, I'll be probably messing with that. So, but where we met, the Zurvita conference in 08 was the launch of this company called Zurvita, which means in Latin, I think, the risen life and a higher way of life. And I've been there. I had my founder's pin that I was wearing because I started the month in the beginning of 08. They weren't even a company very much yet, but I started because I believe in the message. Humble leadership is my biggest core value of any corporation. Humble leadership is the key. I think it's so fascinating to know the backstory. And because I've been there a long time and the ups and downs and ins and outs and almost not making it and the, supply chain, all those things, I kind of have the backstory on a lot of things. And you came in a little bit later. I'm assuming you came in when Zeal, first we were in services, and then Zeal, this incredible Zeal for Life, this incredible nutritional supplement came out in 2011, I believe. And then it changed everything because so many people got so healthy, are so much better, got off medicines, got, and it, just because it's nothing but superfoods. Mm-hmm. And so we got a lot to share about all that because we also do an incredible nonprofit called Zeal for Meals. So, yeah. So what else I know about you, and we'll go back and forth, I'm sure, because that's the way I roll. But, you are an author of a forthcoming book called 100 Days of Poetic Praise, right? Poetic Praise.
Yes.
Because you write poetry. I think that's fascinating. And I just am so inspired by that. So I know you don't even have the cover. You're getting that any minute, I think. And we are so looking forward to knowing more about that. But tell me about your poetry in that.
Sure. When I was a little girl, I had a elementary school teacher that used to read after lunch poetry. And I loved how she read. And I remember writing my first poem in third grade on purple paper with a purple pen, and I still have it. And ever since then, yes, ever since then, I love writing poetry. And it's kind of funny because I talk in rhyme. Sometimes my prayers are completely one long rhyme. When my children were little and we were homeschooling, sometimes I would write poetry while they were doing their schoolwork. And I don't know why. It just comes natural for me. I absolutely love it. And I started collecting them. And I thought, man, they're really piling up. Everybody, when I post them, a lot of friends will comment and say, you need to put them in a book. You need to put them in a book. So started praying about that. And may I tell you a neat story about how 100 Days of Poetic Praise came about?
I would love to know. I think that's,
So, So whenever you're challenged with something like that from a friend, you're always like, oh, I wonder if anybody will read it, or are these any good, or would anybody buy the book, And one time I was listening to a podcast by Annie F. Downs called That Sounds Fun, and she was interviewing one of my favorite authors, Mark Batterson, who wrote In the Pit with a Lion on a Snowy Day, Win the Day, Please, Sorry, Thanks, The Circle Maker. And he said on the podcast, he had just released Win the Day. And that book is all about daily habits and discipline. And he said, in passing, if you have a book inside of you, if the Lord's put a book inside of you, take my book. And I had the book. I was reading it at the time. And he said, set a goal to get it out of you and get it typed, get it written. And so I did. I set a date and I wrote the book. And it's kind of funny because Annie said, and if you do, I'll endorse it. And Mark said, I will too. And I bet you they thought nobody would ever actually hold them to that. But I heard another person that I follow, Darren Hardy, he said that whenever somebody wants him to endorse a book, he'll package it up really nice, or he's had books given to him that way to get his endorsement. I'm going to do that. So I typed up my book. I got it done by the date. I wrote a nice letter. I went online. I found out where Mark Batterson's at, and I wrapped it up, and I sent him a letter, and I sent it to him. And I didn't know what would come of it. Well, lo and behold, his personal assistant contacted me. And she said, he got your book. And I said, I really don't expect him to endorse it. He doesn't know me at all. But if he could just read it if he wants, or at least lead me where I can go to get it published. And lo and behold, they contacted me. He read it. He said he would endorse it. And he told me where he got his first book published. And that's with Zulon Press out of Florida. And their motto is serving him by serving you. So I contacted them and sent them everything. And I mean, it's quite a chore. It's been in the process for a couple of years. But anyway, I'm super stoked. We're almost there. And the cover's being designed, the final edits being done. And so, super grateful, super excited.
So you are not self-publishing. So my little first book was self-published, and it's amazing that it ever got done.
Zulon Press, it is a self-publishing company, kind of.
But they do a hybrid.
They do a lot more. You have all your rights and all of that, and they'll help you market it. And it's a ministry, really. And so I'm excited.
Wow. Well, who knows where that leads? Would you spell it? So, because most people that listen to this will be a podcast.
Sure. Xulon, the Zulon Press.
That's not what I would have thought. Xulon. Okay.
Yes. And they're on Instagram. You can find them online. So
that's great. So putting books out there is writing it is only that's the easy part, really.
Right. It is.
Because
It
you
really
got your
is.
story. So it's interesting to me because I'm a Zig Ziglar legacy certified trainer. And I met Zig Ziglar and I heard him over and over and over. Have you written your book yet? Have you written your book yet? Have you written your book yet? And I had no idea I was going to write a book, at all. But since I am around that kind of encouragement and that kind of people, his children, Tom, Julie, and Cindy, that created the legacy certified training, also have Michelle Prince, and she's got book bound workshops. So I went to that, and and it's like, what am I going to write about? And I had this really big, kind of heavy book in mind, and even have a vision of the cover of that book. But I'm kind of guessing it won't get written. I don't think I want to go there. It's it's a heavy part of my story, I guess. But I'm like, I had this vision of candy bar hugs and buying candy. I was already buying candy bars and offering hugs to people. And so this tiny book came out of that. And then I
I
self-published.
can't wait to read it.
Uh,
Can't wait to read it.
yeah, I have it. I always say, if you're a guy, just put it in the bathroom. It's a 25-minute read. I mean, it really is. And all the women laugh. It's on Audible. It's 25 minutes. So, but it's very powerful. Every word matters. On my second book is every split second transformation. Change your words, change your life. 31 daily practices, because every word matters. I'm in a speaker group called Bree Talks, and I was encouraging you to take a listen and meet Terry Lee Harrison. It's for faith-based speakers and people that would like to have some speaker training, and she has summits, and I was on a summit this morning and I got to give a little talk, and it's very, very, very valuable because it's kind of a cross between TEDx and Toastmasters, and you can speak about your faith because you can't do that on TEDx. So it's a great group. Terry Lee Harrison. And it's called Bree Talks, BRI, meaning bold, real, and impactful. It looks like Bri, but it's Bree. And so if anybody wants information about that, please contact me. I think you would be a great addition to that platform. So just letting you know, inviting you. And
thank you.
Yeah, and you've got some of your, I don't know if it's friends and family have joined today to listen in. And I'm so grateful for that because I don't always have visitors, so to speak. And so if you're a visitor, I love that you're here. And this is winwinwomen.tv and .com. The network is the only global interactive network for women. And so at some point, if it's good with Felicia, we can open it up and you can ask questions if you choose to, and come on video if you want to. Anyway, that's just an invitation. So I'm grateful that you are here and are supporting Felicia today. That's so cool. So, we just met the other day. I mean, my guest had just canceled. The CEO of Zurvita is standing there talking with you. He's the most humble. Jay and Susie Schaefer are the most humble leaders. And that was mentioned multiple times by everybody. I mean, they just are beautiful souls and have created this whole mission called Zeal for Meals and Zurvita Giving, and these missions to feed. And we've adopted, Zurvita has now adopted, I think, the fourth child in this remote village in Kenya, and they have an orphanage. And you got to go with Susie, and I don't know who, Andre and Susie, I don't know who all went, but from Zurvita. But tell me about that, because going to remote villages in Africa is not necessarily a common everyday occurrence for most of us.
Well, Jay and Susie are dear friends, and like you said, the CEO of the company that we're involved in. And Zurvita has a Zurvita Ministries, and we kind of adopted Serve International, which is out of Canton, Georgia. It's a nonprofit organization that provides meals for widows and orphans in Kenya, Africa. They have an orphanage called House of Hope. And Andre and Susie got to go 1 year, one summer. And the next summer, I was allowed to be able to go. And it was an honor and a privilege and miraculous story of events and how that all panned out. But my first overseas trip like that for missions. And it was a huge blessing, very eye-opening. And I still, even in the video that they showed at the conference the other day, I could not watch it and listen to Susie talk about adopting those children and rescuing children off the street without crying. And it's different when you've been there, done that, so to speak. There's a sense of responsibility in continuing to share how we can help make an impact that way by giving, donating, or going on these trips. And so it was quite an honor and a privilege.
When every product you purchase through from Zurvita actually provides meals, and you said you brought the package of the food that they're creating these very nutritious bags. Go to it's serve. Is it serve.org? I'm guessing SERV without the second E.
Yes. Serve International. Serve. It's www.serve1one.org is their website. So,
and we've met the founders of that.
One of them is on right now.
Oh,
Heather Carmichael. She is on there right now, little stinker.
I don't have my glasses on. I can't tell.
That's okay. That's okay. She would be able to answer questions more than I have.
I got
to go with her. I got to go with her and see the African Heather, as she will dub it. So
we had a long conversation as well. How fun is that? So if y'all have anything you want to jump in and say, I think, this is why this is called an interactive forum. And I want us to, feel free to open up your mic if you feel like it's right. I know somebody just put something in the chat, but I just can't see it.
That's okay. That was Heather. That was Heather. So.
Oh, what a beautiful spirit. Oh my goodness. So y'all, I would love, this is huge. Let me just be the devil's advocate, or what do you want to call it? But, there's so many hungry children or hungry people in the world and also in the United States. Somehow, how did you get to Kenya?
You said the world and you said the United States. And that's another thing that we ought to talk about a little bit too, is that Serve One out of Canton actually is located in Canton, and they do
Canton, Georgia.
Yes, ma'am. Canton, Georgia. And they do pack outs where people will come together, like Zurvita, a group of Zurvita people have gone there and packaged and boxed food, and people can drive up and they donate those boxes of food, and they do that in other countries as well. As far as Africa goes, that's the Zilfer meals, those bags of food. One bag will serve 50 people. It's mixed. I was there and was able to mix all the nutrients and the rice and the lentils, and it's very healthy. And then there's this huge machine that bags them up. I wish I could remember off the top of my head. Maybe Heather could put it in the chat, or how many bags it will fill and how long it takes. It's very quick. And then we box them up and then put them on vehicles and drive them out to the deserts, and people come out of nowhere, literally out of nowhere. It's amazing. It's amazing.
I was just trying to come in and listen to my amazing friend Felicia speak.
Well, because I normally don't have a lot of visitors, and so but that's the purpose of this platform. Paula Fellingham, the founder of Win Win Women, wants to touch 3.9 billion women in the globe around the world with the world's only interactive platform. So this is the point, that she is trying to get us to have conversation and help one another in every language and in every subject of importance. So
yeah, no, I love that. And I always love to hear my friend Felicia speak. I was so excited to see her. It's been way too long this past week. And I'm just saying, Felicia, you are a great representative of not only Zurvita, but also of Serve. I was just texting with Steve, and I'm like, he wishes he could hop on and listen as well. But I was like, oh my goodness, she's sharing about the Zeals for Meals program. So no, great job. Great job.
Well, we love Zurvita. We love our products. We love where we're headed with a merger. We're going to have some amazing addition with the omegas and all that omegas, and got to meet those folks this last weekend. And when both companies their name starts with Z, to me, the whole thing is divinely orchestrated, and I'm grateful for that. And this is my show. I can talk about whatever I want to. And I'm so incredibly blessed that Felicia said yes, because I had an opening right now. And they just drove 2 days of 15-hour days, I think, of driving back up to home in North Dakota. I mean, that's a long way from Texas, Houston. You've had all that going on, and look at that beautiful smile you have. What is your other quote? Do you remember them, or do you want me to?
Sure. Yeah. I have it in my living room. We have really tall ceilings, and there's this huge sign at the very top that says there's always, always, always something to be grateful for. Might have to look for it, but there's always something there. And the other one, I don't know where I heard it, but ever since I was young, I've taught it to my kids. It's my mantra: good, better, best. Never let it rest till your good is better and your better is best.
Love it, love it, love it. Yeah, my mom said always take the high road and leave things better than you found them. Leave the world a better place. Don't leave a mess for somebody else to clean up is the way I want to say it.
There you go.
Wipe up your mess, pick it up, your trash.
Yeah.
So thank you for sharing those, because I'm a sayings girl. When intriguing opportunities present themselves and you say yes, things show up.
Yeah.
And so that you said yes, and here we are. And it was a very fast turnaround, really, for you to, that was Saturday. I think it was Saturday during our 80s party, maybe, was it, when we met?
Right before, yes.
We had so much fun. That was such a fun thing. So the company, Zurvita, when it means the risen life, and God has had his hand on it, and you've got Zurvita Ministries led by Shelley Alley, and they've had a prayer call every single Wednesday night for 16 years, because they started praying for it before it was, and that was in the beginning of 2008. Pivotal year for me as well. I retired from my 34-year career that year, and
wow.
My daddy died that year. I mean, there was a big year, and I went to the official launch on 08 of Zurvita. Yeah, and I love that. So you're an author, and you have 7 children, and you have, man, you light up the room. Your smile is like bigger than life, and then you write these beautiful poems. Hey, you wrote a poem for Zeal for Meals. Do you mind reading it?
Sure. So back when we were presenting it within the company for a convention, because of getting to go on the trip to Kenya, I was asked, well, actually, I just wrote it and told Jay about it, not thinking anything. I just thought, thank you for the experience. Thank you for the opportunity. Here's a poem that the Lord gave me, because coming back, like I've told Steve and Heather, I feel like I have a personal responsibility to continue sharing, because whenever someone does purchase Zeal, Zendora, or Zurge, you're not just getting healthy nutrients in your own body, you're literally, like I said, providing meals, because of that, for children in Africa. And so I just wanted to be a funnel of faith and not bottleneck God's blessings, but continually in the flow of things, if that makes sense. So because of that trip and the opportunity and everything that I saw, I wrote a poem called A Funnel of Faith. And here's how it goes. A funnel of faith I choose to be, filled with his goodness, flowing full and free, pouring out his love with so much to give, offering his blessings, I choose to live, having a thrill for zeal, working with others in mind, so many lives to change, many more gems to find. I choose to continue and by faith do this work, to zeal on forward and this calling not shirk. I will cling to his promises and do all in his name. I will walk by faith, his power to claim. Zeal on and continue, don't give up the fight. Zeal on forward through the power of his might. He has given us the victory through his name, amen. So fill your funnel with faith and flow with blessings from him.
Gives me chills. Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure it does everyone because it's just, you can tell it, you can heal it, you feel it, and you can feel your commitment to and authenticity around it. It's not, I just attract people like you. I just love that
I'm glad we connected. Yeah.
yeah. So, North Dakota's a little too cold for me most of the time, but
Same here. Same here. I just stay inside.
You just have a stronger, what do they call that? Stamina or fortitude. But anyway, so, I mean, you're publishing your book. What's next? Are you going to have?
My goal is to have 4 volumes of poetry. I've getting the first one published. The second one has already been written, and now I'm getting that one into the computer. And then I'm writing the third one. So the second one will be 365 more days of poetic praise. And then the third one will be 1,000 days of poetic praise. And they'll all be different poems. And then there's going to be a Christmas collection that they asked me to write. So that's the goal as far as poetry goes.
So how long are these poems? 1,000 is like a lot.
It is a lot. It is a lot. Actually, Charla, this morning, you're a visionary, right? I mean, you can tell that. And this morning I was chewing on the verse, Proverbs 29:18, where there's no vision, the people perish. And so every single day I try to write 2 or 3 poems a day. So can I read you one from this morning? It's called
Please
Vision
do.
Accomplished.
And you're handwriting them. So when you say you're transcribing them literally into the computer after the fact. Wow.
Yes. So this is called Vision Accomplished. Sitting still in the silence, seeking to hear from thee, meditating upon thy word while upon bended knee, resting in your peace, basking in blessings from above, filled with joy and gladness at the thought of your boundless love. Knowing full well, Lord, you have a job for me to do. You have a purpose and a plan, a vision and a calling only from you. Fill me with your power, Lord. Equip my heart and my mind for the task. Grant me, Holy Spirit, strength and faith to faithfully obey all that you ask. May you receive all the glory. May you receive all the praise as I serve my Heavenly Father for the rest of all my days. And when this life is over and my race on earth is won, when I reach heaven's pearly gates, may I hear, welcome home, my child, well done.
Oh. It sounds like it would have taken a long time to write that. It just starts flowing. You've got
it does. Sometimes I have to write
feel like
so
it's
fast.
downloading from the spirit, right?
There you go. Yes. My son calls me the second psalmist. He's like, Mom. So
receive it. Yeah, just receive it. Why not? I have a friend that wants to be, she's like, hashtag the female Mr. Rogers. So, that's kind of, it's okay. There's lots, I think that's especially from your son. Wow. Yeah. That's a huge honor, right? When your children rise up and call you blessed. So I'm just grateful to have this conversation, to get to know you a little bit, because
Same.
I said before, I mean, it's like your aura, your light is just emanating. And that's one of the things that I choose when I leave the house. I'm a kind of a homebody. I don't go out that much either. But when I do, I want my light to shine. I want people to feel that energy around me of love. My message is unconditional love, right? Mm-hmm. I make friends in the grocery store, right? So people, it just kind
of collect friends. Yeah.
Collector
like
and
both collect friends everywhere we go. Yeah.
Because people are so drawn and attracted. And if they can't, and and actually in my little book too, I was like, some people can't receive. They don't love themselves enough to know how to love others or to know how to receive love. That was the tiny, small chapter in there that some people just can't receive. And
love thy neighbor as thyself. And if you don't love yourself, you're definitely not going to be able to love your neighbor like you should.
And I do believe that is an issue in our country. I don't know that in North Dakota you experience quite as much of this disconnect that seems to be going on, and disenchantment, perhaps. I'm outrageously optimistic that things are getting better and going to be better or are better. And at least they are in my world, because that's all I can see. It's all I attract.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of people that are so confused. And they're so fearful, and they're so walking in this fear, or I'm right, you're wrong, and or whatever. And instead of having conversation and connection, we're distancing ourselves. And I happen to believe it's a plan. There's something in the bigger forces, that the evil forces, that want us to be fearful and separated. And I'm so grateful that you are breaking that, certainly in your community and right here in my world. And the people we met this weekend, the people we know, the people that we attract are doing exactly that.
True. That's one of the things that I want the book to do, or every book actually, is to 3 things basically for myself: encourage hearts, because everybody needs encouragement because of things that you're talking about right now. And then equip souls. I mean, if we don't have our health, we don't have anything. You can't do anything without your health. So if we can share about a product, or allow people to know that they have a purpose and a plan, that God has something for them, and help them have better health to be able to fulfill that plan. So encourage hearts, equip souls, and elevate the truth. Because the truth is, like you said, every person is fascinating. Everybody has a gift or a talent hidden in there that God has a purpose and a plan for. So if reading a poem, sometimes I may not be able to say something to somebody because they may be withdrawn or whatever, but they can pick up a book. And my prayer and hope is that they feel like they're having a conversation right from me, right from the Lord, and can get encouragement and feel loved and see hope and search for Him. So that's my prayer.
Well, it's very obvious that it's working. It's very obvious that you're doing it right. And here you are becoming really, really dear friends with these super leaders, right? That are so humble. Could the world use a little bit more humble leadership? Just saying.
I'm excited to see where, Serve and Heather and Steve with Serve International out of Canton, Georgia. I mean, they go into other countries and help and serve and provide meals and things like that. And I may not be able to get to go on all those trips. I'm glad I had the experience, and I hope I get another experience. But words and books can go places that you or I may never get to go. And so, when I was a little girl, I always wanted to be a missionary somehow, some way. And I've always taught my kids that the mission field is right where you're standing. And it is. But there are people across the globe. So I want to be a missionary of the word. I love words. I love stories. I love acronyms. I love poems. So if I can get the word out, get His word out into places and be a missionary of the word, I would be thrilled. So
yes, you are all of those things. You embody it. You embody it so well. It's beautiful. In the spirit of the conversation, would anyone in the audience feel free to just jump on in and invite you to ask questions of me or Heather? And how do we stay positive? How do we stay positive? Can you I mean, both of us are in that mindset, right? My sister years ago was like, "You're just Pollyanna, and that's not reality." And I'm like, "Well, it's my reality, because
there you go.
I don't see anything. I mean, I just choose it. It's all choice.
It's a choice.
Choose it.
Definitely a choice.
Every word matters. If you don't like where you are is all you have to start from. So if you're in the gutter and you don't like it, you can take the next step to step out of it, change your word, change your direction to step out of it. But you can't change the gutter, because that's where you are to start. You might as well receive it and love where you are, so that you can take a future step that changes everything. You are not those things. You're not your circumstances. You're not your past. You are a child of the Most High God, and you are loved no matter what. If God is love, He can't be not love. I guarantee you are loved. And I say that a lot, and usually at the end of my show, because I think people think God is, in religion, they taught us that God's this got a big old stick and, a judge. God loves. God is love. He can't be not
merciful.
love.
Yes. Yeah. Definitely
And
merciful and giving.
there's nothing you can do to be loved more or less by
That's
God.
right. That's right. There's no mistakes that we can make that he can't fix. There's no problem that we have that he can't solve. There's no sin that we commit that he can't forgive, and no mess that is too big for him to turn it into a message. And, you were talking about taking that personal choice. I know where you're coming from, optimism and all of that, but life happens. But when life happens, we have a personal choice to either look for something to be grateful for or focus on the negative. I always say there's no bad days. When God made the day, it's all good. Now, some bad things happen, but are they really bad? If they're turning us toward the Lord, if we're in a difficult situation and it's causing us to look up, that's a good thing. So if we can find something to be grateful for, a long time ago, probably 1996, I heard a Christian psychologist, Dr. Richard M. Hayes, out of Oklahoma. He's now with the Lord. But I heard him in a conference, a family conference, and he challenged us to every single day keep a stroke file. He called it a stroke file, stroking your heart and filling it with warm fuzzies. That's how he talked about it. And just to write down 3 things that you're grateful for God. And if you wanted to, you could do your spouse, you could do your children. Well, I came out of, some difficult situations in life, and if not careful, sometimes that's all that you see is that difficulty and those problems and that negativity. And if you don't make that personal choice and have a strong mindset, it can overwhelm you. You can get discouraged and complacent, the whole thing, go in a corner in a shell. And who wants to be there? And so I thought, I'm going to do that. I'm going to challenge myself for a year to write something I'm grateful for, 3 of them. 3 for I love you is how I say it. For God every single morning, and my husband and my children, all 7, every day. And I started in December of 96, and I've been doing that ever since. Now, when the kids leave the house, then that's when I stop writing their name. So now I'm just down to my husband and God, and then 2 children left at home. But for a few weeks, it's such a habit. Sometimes I'll continue, but it's a blessing because it's like a journal of joy. Like if you are having a challenge, I can go back to the bookshelf and pull out any one of those years and just read all the blessings that God provided. And I tell my kids, if you're discouraged or you want to know what mama thinks about you or how I feel about you or how God looks at you, go grab a journal and read what I've written about you. And it just turns everything around. Gratitude just turns everything around.
It is the key to a satisfied life. Completely. And my mom, thank you, thank you, thank you. When I'm dry, I don't know what I'm thankful for at the moment. I'm just saying thank you, because thank you. I did hear this quote one time. If the only prayer you ever say is thank you, it is enough. And I love that because, sometimes you just don't really know. You're thank you that you have a breath. I have a mentor that said, keep breathing free oxygen. Isn't that cool? Keep breathing free oxygen. And I say, keep breathing free oxygen, and I'm in Texas. Whoa,
There you go. There's always something to be grateful for. So,
and at the very, very, very least, free. We don't have to pay for. If you're on a machine, you're paying for the machine, not the oxygen. We've got air to breathe, and that is the air, the breath of life. Yeah. If you can take a breath, then you have been provided for every second and every step of the way. If you're in the gutter and you don't have a penny to your name, but you're taking a breath, in that moment, you're okay because you have been provided for to be alive and take that breath right now. And I think, we get all messed up around all that kind of stuff. If we can take a breath, we're alive and we are okay in that specific moment. Once again, it's the only place we have to make a new agreement, to speak a new word because every word you speak after I am is who you are.
It's true.
I've said that so many times today, and I don't know if I've actually said it on this show a couple of times already. So I am, but it's important because when you say I am, you're breathing in the breath of life, the name of God, the God in you, and I am when you don't claim dis-ease, don't claim it. Don't say I have this, whatever it is. Say, been diagnosed with, I'm doing all I can, but I can see the vision of how I'm going to be playing with those grandkids. Everything you think, you attract more of that. And if you want to be healthy, you can't focus on the pain. And
Right.
You got to focus on the outcome that you want.
He says to speak truth and life, and we're created in his image. So if we're created in his image, then our words can give truth and life. So I totally agree with you there.
Well, I'm ready to learn more. And actually, when I met Steve and this serve is his vision, right? What's his last name? I don't even know.
Kasha, Kasha.
But I did hear the first time that he came to a Zervita conference and this merger marriage worked with Serve and Zervita. I heard his heart. Oh my goodness. And then I heard Heather's heart, and to just see them light up talking, and Susie Schaefer, oh my goodness. She lights up and about these children that we're adopting, so to speak, in through Zervita. And do you remember the old starfish story, right? So I'm like, there's billions of people and many of them are hungry, and
if you can help one,
if you can help just that one starfish that got thrown back into the ocean, he's happy. I mean, he made it, right? So, and the rest, you pray, you want to serve, and we continue to strive for that. We should not have hungry people in our world. There is no lack in this world. This is my belief. I do not believe there's lack.
Plenty to go around.
There is plenty to go around for everyone. The distribution, that's where the problem kind of is a little bit. So, there's enough and there's no lack. We just got to find and continue doing all we can in our little families and our little communities, and then stepping into people serve like they are doing. It's beautiful. It's beyond beautiful.
I agree. They're actually doing a pack out. I want to say, I'd have to get the specific date, but the next one I think is in Ohio coming up. So where, here stateside, they pack up the boxes and distribute those to needy families. So that's coming up, and always an opportunity. But you can reach out to Serve and go by the organization there in Canton and get a tour and hear more about it.
I mean, what one man can do, there's this, I'm only one person. Start a movement. He did. And you get that vision, that dream, you get that calling, that nudge, that inner, you've got it. So this is part of the deal. The reason I say that little breathing thing in the beginning is because so many of us never take time to be still and know, to listen to the still small voice, to listen to the God word, the downloads. And when you do, if you don't, you really are missing out on life. It's true. Just so many of your callings are being missed. And we talk about woo. Who was saying that? Was that
Brian?
Art Jonak?
It was Brian.
Oh, Brian.
Brian, the one speaker, the breakthrough speaker. But
wow.
But while you were talking, you've said two words that are my favorites. The one is continue. My team page is team continue, because it's easy to give up. Anybody can give up, but it takes a whole lot more effort to continue, especially in today's day and age with people. You hear suicide more and more often. And so if we could just continue, but vision, I think having a vision and the fortitude to go after that vision can pull you with purpose toward that to help you to continue. And so remember how I told you about my journals where I write the thank yous in them? Every single month, I'm always thinking about goals for the next month. And I write I just doodle, and I write the month prompt page, if you will, like the theme of the month. I don't know if you can see this, but I sketched that on there, and it actually has the word vision. So you see like a little telescope, and it has a picture of my little book on there. And I told you I love acrostics or acronyms. Sometimes I'll weave them in my poetry. But the word vision, if you write it down the side of your paper, and it means, for me, a valiant initiative, setting intentional obedience now. Because you can have a vision, but if you don't do anything about it, when are you going to get it done? And, you were telling me about different people that that are your age with just inspiring doing things. And I'm only 53, but time flies. Like, it is zipping and it's not slowing down. And I'm like, I wish I didn't have to sleep so I could write and do more, and get it done. But my prayer is that we have vision and we continue.
So what I think that I want to wind us up, we're getting close to the end, and a lot of my message in what I do is about legacy. We talked about Ziegler Legacy Certified Training. A lot of that is what you're doing when your children when you're long gone and they can go in and read who they were to you. I don't think you can leave anything more better, anything better for your, but there's some vocabulary for you. Yeah.
I'm an English teacher.
Yeah. So, and I have an eye for that too, but I love to have some fun, right? So
yeah, for sure.
Really, your children, that is the biggest gift I think that you can possibly leave. It's your legacy in a package of letters to them. Oh my goodness. And your dreams and your goals and amazing stuff. So I can't see what's written in the chat, but I saw something come up. So somebody jump in there. Do you see anybody wanting to talk? Let me see. Can you read the chat?
It's my daughter, Haley. Hi. That's my daughter, Haley. She's my oldest.
Oh, hi.
She's catching up with me. She just turned 29.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. So
Can you
grateful.
hear me?
Yes. I
Dad,
love you. You're amazing. Please say.
I just want to say how proud I am of my mom, Felicia Doss. It is so cool to get to see her have an opportunity to share the gift that God gave her with the world. And Mom, I'm just so proud of you. When she's reading those poems, it is so cool to be able to for you guys to get the opportunity to see a bit of my reality growing up in her home, in our home as a family. Her reading those poems to us every single day, like she writes poems every single day. It is so cool. I'm like, oh yeah, that's normal. That's my mom. That's what she does. So it's just so crazy because I can go back to as far as I can remember my mom writing poems. And one of the most favorite things that I miss about living at home is in the mornings, me and her reading our Bibles and books together and having devotions together, and her sharing her poems that she wrote that morning, or like praying together. And there was so many times where she would write a poem and I play the piano and we would put music to those poems. So sometimes she'd turn her poems into songs and I'd play the piano and she'd sing her poem. And it was just the coolest thing. She'd be like, oh, I just made this poem into a tune. Can you play it quick? And so we would. And that is just one of my favorite memories being at home. And just fast forward to her book becoming a reality is such a gift. We, as kids, we were always telling Mom, you need to write a book. You need to do this. And it's just so cool to see it finally happening. And Mom, I'm just so proud of you. And thank you so much for who you are. You've overcome so much. And to get to where you are today, this blows my mind. I'm like, oh my gosh, she's on a podcast? This is cool.
If this is her first podcast, I guarantee you it won't be her last.
Oh, absolutely not. This is just the beginning. And for me to even be able to hop on, ironically, my lunch break was at 1:00 today. I'm about to head back to work. But thank you, Charla, for letting me hop on and just praise my mom because she's such a gift. And I'm so proud of her. And I love her more than I can even say. And if I keep talking, I will start crying. But
that's okay. Stop, or you're gonna make me cry.
I know. I'm sorry.
It's okay. I love you.
I love you, Mom. You are amazing. You're such a gift. Thank you for allowing God to speak through you and for putting what He put on your heart out into the world. Because you're the only one that can do that. Your gift is unique just for you, sent to you from God, and for you to actually put heart work and hard work into it, that's your decision. And I'm so proud of you because you're doing the thing. And I just love it. I can't wait to read your first book. I can't wait to read all 4 of them, if not more. I know you want to write children's books too, and I can't wait for that to happen. But anyways, thank you, Charla. Thank you for uplifting my mom and allowing her to be on your show today. And yeah, I just love you, Mom. I'm proud of you.
Love you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Oh, I can't even imagine a higher honor than to have my children, talk about.
She deserves it. She deserves it.
Oh, it's
She's a
very
beautiful
obvious.
person.
Yes.
She makes friends everywhere she goes. Like you said, her smile is very contagious. I get told all the time, "Oh, you look just like your mom." I'm like, thanks. It's my smile. But I'm just so proud of her and her gift. Like, it's a blessing. It's a huge blessing. And I praise the Lord too, because it came from him. So I'm going to stay on while I drive back to work, but I just wanted to hop on and say hi. And
thank you, Haley.
Thank you so very much. We're going to have a closeout pretty shortly because, it's hard to close it too, for sure. So, oh my goodness. What a incredible gift. That is the highest praise, the highest honor in my estimation coming from your children.
Thank you. And I didn't even know she was going to be on. So,
oh, so sweet. Oh my goodness. Well, any last words? What's next? What else do you want us to know? What is the final call to action, or what's on your heart?
Pretty much, I think I've said it all that I can think. The only thing that I would say is if anybody's watching this that has questions on what they can do to make a difference in the world, how they can make an impact, I totally encourage them to get alone with the Lord and just ask, what do you want me to do, Lord? And be still and wait on him. And if what do waiters do? They serve. So wait on the Lord, but serve him while you're waiting. And not only that, but worship him in the waiting and go ahead and thank him for the answer that's going to come, because he does hear you. He does care about you, and he will speak to your heart and let you know what that is. And every person is, like you said, they're fantastic and they're important and loved and have a gift that I don't have, that you don't have. That would be my last word, just to get along with the Lord and ask him what he wants you to do, because he has a specific job that only you can fulfill.
And so I have a dear friend through the Zigner Corporation, that is Bob Bodine. He wrote 2 books. One's The Power of Who, and it's very powerful, about you already know everybody you need to know to get anything you need. And the other one is called 2 Chairs. And he sits every single morning in one chair and just asks the questions that he wants and waits. And answers come, so 2 chairs. And I really appreciate that you added that in your ending here. So how do we do that, right? Is so you're giving a practical tip. And our noise is so loud. Our noise is so loud on these machines and devices that we don't, and they're designed to keep us busy. Yeah. Too busy to hear. Go out and touch earth, touch the trees, walk on the grass, get grounded, get centered. And, that's one of the keys. I think that we're so inundated by noise all the time, 24/7, that we don't have time to hear, and people just leaving things on in the music in the background just because they want noise. I'm like, I drove to Houston and back. I don't even turn on anything. I live in silence. I love silence is golden, right?
It is.
Well, it's time. We're going to have to shut her down. I'm so grateful for you and your time and your gifts and your legacy that you're doing, Felicia Doss, and how people can find you. I thought I didn't. I don't think I did say this earlier. So you're on all kinds of social media, either FELICIA, Felicia Doss, or Felicia A. Doss, or Felicia Ann Doss. Yeah. So do you have email you want to?
I do. FeliciaAnnDoss@gmail.com. Anybody could email me there. And ANN without the E, So I have to throw Ann in there because if you type in Felicia Doss, there's a lot of them. So I added the A in there so it can be different. But I'm on Instagram as well at Felicia A. Doss. And so, yeah, look forward to connecting.
Really, really great. And this isn't gonna, you've stepped into something here. So grateful for you. I'm going to have to shut her down, and blessings and blessings and blessings. I love you so much. And we'll be in touch.
Parting is such sweet sorrow. The Charla Anderson Show. Encouraging you to stand strong and courageous with bold faith, no fear, immense hope, kindness, and love, especially towards yourself. Visit charlaanderson.com for replays, blogs, and more on her ever-expanding website, as well as watch her live TV show on winwinwomen.tv, Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. And so that we can continue learning together and growing this community of beautiful souls, we invite you to share the Charla Anderson Show with your circle of friends. Until we meet again next week, remember always, choose joy.